Welcome to November. What a great, great time of the year this is. And what a wonderful opportunity it is for us to stay awake, alert, and aware. And I say that because it seems that as we enter this end of the year period, people start thinking about Thanksgiving, they think about, the end of the year holidays, the usual ones, Ramadan, Christmas, Hanukkah, Festivus, the holiday for the rest of us. New Year's. Yeah. So as all of these holidays begin to just kind of stack up around us, a lot of times what happens is people become like zombies, or they become unconscious and they don't know what's going on, and the next thing you know, it's 2014 and folks are coming to going, what happened? And it's not the alcohol or the eggnog or the pumpkin spice lattes either. It's just that it seems that as the darkness falls upon the land, that people begin to hibernate. And it's okay to rest, but it is indeed important for us to stay awake and alert and aware, and not to go unconscious, but to stay diligent in our spiritual practices and being aware of what's happening around us, and being aware and awake enough so that we're continuing to make the connections of life, that we're continuing to be the love and show up as the love, and that we continue to receive the love that's being given. Now, I have no clue what that has to do with my talk tonight, but it just came through me, so I figured I'd go with it, right? Tonight I'm talking about Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, and we do have a great new book, The Thought Exchange. And David Freeman, in his book, The Thought Exchange, he... his key to most of this stuff is it's the secret behind the movie, The Secret. So it's the secret behind the secret. And so, of course, it's so intriguing because I want to know what the secret behind the secret is, because I already know what the secret is, and it's the law of attraction. But now there's a secret behind the secret. It's almost like going down a rabbit hole. It's like something else, or being on the internet. I go on one side and then it leads me to another, and before you know it, 3 hours later, I come to going, wait a minute, I was just looking, or like being at Costco, right? You go in for one thing, next thing you know, you come out with a shopping cart $300 later. But this idea of the ability to be able to exchange our thoughts, to be able to almost be like in a store like Nordstrom's, or one of those high-end stores that don't really care, or even like a Costco, if you will. You can buy something and then try it and use it and wear it out and run it into the ground and then go, nah, I don't really like this, and take it back. And they allow you to give it back, all used and misused and battered and tattered, and they go, fine, just go get something else, or here's a refund. And with the thought exchange, it's that kind of similar idea, that we have been having these thoughts. We are thinking beings and creatures, and that thoughts pass through our mental state. And as these thoughts pass through our mental state, if we choose to grab onto them and hold on to them, and we choose to use them and incorporate them in our lives and try them on and see if they fit, some of them work for us for a long time. They might even bring us comfort. They might bring us pain that sometimes reminds us of comfort. They might be uncomfortable, but we think that we can settle for that, and we think that, we might as well go ahead. I mean, it's a thought, it's been working, or it might even be a thought that we got as a little kid, something that our parents gave us, something that our teachers gave us, our schools, our religious institutions, our media. It may be thoughts like that. However, we can indeed exchange these thoughts. We can indeed examine the thoughts and the thought process and what happens in our minds, and see which ones are working for us and through us and as us, and exchange those thoughts for something better, something that is true, something that is authentic to us, something that will help us and guide us on our path of unfoldment and growth. You know, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall simply reminds me of that childhood fairy tale where the queen looks in the mirror. And of course, she says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And as long as she believes that she is the fairest of them all, the mirror will always respond and reflect to her that it is her, that she's the fairest of them all, that she continues to be the ruler of the land, that is her who's top dog of the kingdom, if you will. But the minute that she engages in any doubt, the minute that something else kind of crosses her path, the minute that this new thought might be introduced into her consciousness, that someone else might be fairer than she, and she approaches the mirror so that it can reflect to her back what it is, it says, oh, it ain't you anymore, darling. Hate to tell you. There's somebody else in my life now. And I wonder that even though it's playful and I play with it in this way, I wonder how many of us really know that we're doing the same thing. That life simply reflects to us that which we're already thinking, that which we are already believing, that which is already part of the natural way that we do life. I'll tell you a story, and here's one of the easiest ways that I can put it. And I just learned of this story today. I'd never heard it before. And it just captured me and made things so simple. For me, I like taking complicated ideas and making them really simple. So, go with me. There's a parent and a child going through the woods, having a great day in the woods. The child falls and gets a little ouchie, ouchie. And the child yells out, ouch! And the mountain yells back, ouch! And the little kid goes, who's that? And the mountain yells back, who's that? Coward, coward. And the parent, now seeing that this is the first time that the child has ever heard anything like this, says, you are amazing. You are amazing, yells back the mountain. You are great. You are great, yells back the mountain. And the child is looking even more confused. You see, the parent says to the child, that's an echo. And an echo will give you back exactly what you put into it. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Reflect to me what it is that I think. Reflect to me who it is that I think I am. And so the parent, this great and loving parent, was simply modeling to the child that which is this reflection, how life reflects back, how life echoes back to us what we think. And so as we begin to proclaim and as we begin to shout out to life our greatness, our wholeness, our abundance, our prosperity, our health, our joy, our bliss, it will reflect back to us exactly the same thing. Now, the echo or the reflection doesn't alter anything. It doesn't say, well, I didn't like the way you used that inflection, so even though you said, I am great, I'm going to give you back, I'm great. I think I'm great. You might not be that great. No. The echo, just like the reflection, gives you back exactly what was put into it. So what is echoing back to you? So whether you're a person who learns auditory or someone who likes to have the visual, which one works for you? The echo, the reflection, whichever one, use that one. But life is constantly giving back to us that which we put into it. So what are the gifts that we're receiving? And is it like, let's make a deal? You know, is your life like, let's make a deal that you get to choose, you know, or you're kind of, you know, gambling with life, kind of going, okay, you know, I'm going to go behind door number 2 and it's, you know, wah, wah, wah. You get the hay and the cow moo. And is that what you're getting? Because if that's what you're getting, that's what you're putting out. That's just the echo, giving it back to you. Are you getting the shiny new, you know, car? Are you getting the perfect mate? Are you getting that great job or that career? What is it that you're getting? Because simply through the thought exchange and through our science of mind principles and practices, the same thing is being said over and over and over again, just in a different way to really just kind of almost come through the back door. Because sometimes it's like, okay, yes, I know that. And sometimes with our stories, with our teachings, with the simplicity of it all, sometimes it's almost like going around our mind into the back door to kind of go, aha, finally I can get in. Finally, you understand that if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And the question is, you know, do you like what you're getting? Do you like how life is showing up for you? I was thinking earlier today, I like writing a lot of questions on Facebook. For those of you who might not be my Facebook friends, if you're on Facebook, friend me, because I do this all the time. I just simply throw out a question. And then, you know, it just gets bombarded and filled with all these answers. But, you know, the question that I'm going to pose pretty soon, instead of how is life treating you, I think the question that I really want to ask is, how are you treating life? Because, you know, when people ask, how's life treating you, it's almost like life happens to me. How's life treating me? Life is happening to me, and sure enough, lots of us live from that place. Well, this happened to me, and that happened to me, and this happened to me. And it's all simply, again, a reflection, an echo of what I've put in. But when we mature spiritually, and as we matriculate through our classes, and as we continue our spiritual practice, and as it becomes an incorporation into our daily lives, as we simply begin to live this spiritual way of life, what happens is that we gain the spiritual maturity, and no longer does life happen to me, and no longer does life happen by me, where I simply think that I can control everything, because I do have control over circumstances and situations. As we begin to use treatment, we can absolutely use treatment and use prayer to cause things to happen. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And yet, even beyond that, there's a place where I don't even have to control anything. I just get to let life live through me. And I get to live life. Life gets to live as me. And not that I am a victim to it or that it's controlling me, but what I'm understanding is that there's this oneness and that life is me. I get to that place spiritually where life is me. And I no longer have to control and or manipulate stuff in order for the grandeur and the beauty and the divine glory and the grace that is God, that is love, that is life to happen in, through, and as my life. And so mirror, mirror on the wall is, what are my affirmations? What am I looking through? Where am I looking from? What are the thoughts that I'm entertaining, and how is it that I can take these thoughts that no longer serve me, that have never really served me, and exchange them for the thoughts that will put me on a path and a trajectory to my greatness? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having life reflect back to me the greatness of the I am, because that's who I am. And it's not coming from a place of ego, of edging God out, but it's coming from a place of ego entertaining God only. Okay? It comes from that place where I am entertaining God only, and I'm recognizing that there's only one power, one life, that it is God, and God is living as me. That God shows up on this planet as me. God is showing up as you, as you, as you, as each and every one of us. Right? Mirror, mirror on the wall, exchanging the thoughts that no longer serve it and substituting it and allowing ourselves to feel what it feels like to get through and get beyond that point where we just want to give up and go back to the old ways of doing stuff. Because it's one thing to have these thoughts and to say that I'm going to do it. It's kind of like going to the gym. It's kind of like working out. Ask me how I know. I don't want to get up, especially early in the morning and, be with the dumbbells. Seems so dumb to be with the dumbbells, But to get through it, to kind of like have the thought, to see myself being healthy, being whole, eating greatly, living greatly, being able to just, be a slow motion, movie, right? Can you see yourself, maybe with long hair, maybe with short hair, but, like just kind of jogging down the beach, looking good, looking sexy. Everybody's eyes, slow motion, kind of looking at you. Right? But that's not going to happen when I'm just thinking about it. I'm going to lay home and think about it. No, the thought exchange has to be that I have to physically go and do this, right? I have to get through. I get to sweat. I get to feel it. Right? But too many times, because we've been so conditioned into thinking that everything's going to happen right away, because in our culture, we've been so, we've acculturated to this way of having everything instantly, Ask me how I know. I'm the one who stands in front of the microwave going, hurry up. I want it now. That's how ATMs came to be. I want my money now. Spits it out. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about that exchange of thought and then actually feeling what it feels like to have it happen, to make it happen in, through, and as us, to be there, to have arrived, to live from that place of God as me. God as me. And in human time, it doesn't happen overnight. However, huge tree. How do you chop that tree down? Not that we're going to go out and chop down trees, right? We need more and more of them. But the way that tree gets chopped down is one stroke at a time. One stroke at a time. It just doesn't happen all at once. And so it's the same with our practice. It's the same with our practice. We engage in a practice. We engage in our affirmations, our meditations, our prayer, that it is not just one thing that's going to get us there, but it is the combination of things, the way of life, actually feeling it, having that body sensation, going through it, that gets us there. And so many times, the minute the physical has a little sensation, we go, ooh, I don't like the way that feels. Oh, maybe not. It might be uncomfortable to go talk with someone. It may be uncomfortable. Oh, I just don't feel right approaching that person and asking them to, start a study group with me or, read the Science of Mind textbook with me or to pray with me after service. We get to feel that and go through it. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Echo, simply reflecting back to us that which we put into it. So, of course, Ernest Holmes has a lot to say about reflection. Ernest Holmes has a lot to say about reflecting. So out of the many, many opportunities in this book that I've had to pull something forward, I landed on this one. And it's pretty simple. In the great universal mind, man, or humanity, or human, man is a center of intelligence. You hear what you are? You are a center of intelligence. And every time he thinks, he sets mind in action. Every time you think, you are setting mind in action. Because of the oneness of mind, it cannot know anything outside of itself, and therefore cannot contradict any thought given it, but must, there's that four-letter word, must reflect whatever is cast into it. It cannot contradict itself. You cannot say apple and it's going to say cherry. It cannot contradict itself. So you're going to get what you're putting into it, right? And the minute we think, we're setting the mind into action. It cannot contradict itself, okay? We are immersed in an infinite creative medium which, because of its nature, must create after the pattern of our thought and the pattern our thought gives it. Jesus understood this, and in a few simple words laid down the law of life. It is done unto you as you believe. No more simple and yet no more profound statement could be made. Right? It is done unto you as you believe. And so what we get an opportunity to do as we enter this month and next month, we get to work with this thought exchange. We get to really begin to just kind of stay awake, alert, and aware of our thought process. We don't get to go unconscious just because, oh, it's that time of the year again. You know what happens. Traffic, shopping, stampedes on Black Friday. No, we don't get to go unconscious. We get to stay awake, alert, and aware. We get an opportunity as this spiritual community, as this grand spiritual community, to begin to examine our thoughts and begin to make the exchange. Begin to make that exchange, that we might live from this grand divine place that we are. We are centers of intelligence. That's who we are. That's who we are. And we get to remember that. We get to say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the hottest of them all? And the mirror is going to say, it's you. It's you. Who's the best of them all? It's you. Where is God? Right there. God is right where you are. God is being reflected in, through, and as each and every one of us. And to the degree in which we accept that and know that and believe that, that is what is reflected and echoed back to us. So let's take that into our quiet time, and let's just simply be with that in spiritual community as we allow the lights to just kind of dim a little bit, and as we simply begin to take what we've heard musically and our prayer and our reading, as we just take this all in. And as we take this in, we're simply reminded of the parent and the child in the woods. What is it that you're calling out that is echoing back? And does it serve you? Or is it something that is time to be rid of? And so as we go into our silence together, let us simply shout, right where I am, God is. Right where I am, God is. There's one power, one life. That life is God. That life is my life now. There's one power, there's one life. That life is God. That life is my life now. God is living as me right now. God is living as me right now. Pick your own statement of truth and have that echo back to you in your mind's ears. And have that be the echo and the reflection of our time in the silence.